I know this clip is a little old, but it's a great opportunity to share. When I was a kid, one of my favorite shows was Star Trek. I thought one day that I could be like Lieutenant Uhura and be a communications officer in space. I thought so much of it at the time that I even applied to the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University when I was in high school. But as in all things in life, sometimes life takes us down a different path. Later on in life, I became an amateur radio operator. I got the chance to talk to people from around the world, from places I will probably never see. My greatest contact was the International Space Station last year during Field Day. I was so excited to have an opportunity to boldly go where so few people have a chance to actually speak to someone in outer space. Personally, I'm glad these people have made it home. Hats off to the International Space Station. Welcome home in 73s. This is Dark Star 44.
And splashdown, Crew 9 back on Earth.
They're back
after the longest flight delay in history.
From CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the CBS Evening News.
Good evening. I'm Maurice Dubois.
I'm John Dickerson.
Astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams returned to Earth this evening, back from what was supposed to be an 8-day mission aboard the International Space Station.
It lasted 35 times longer, a total of 286 days. Wilmore and Williams were launched to the space station aboard a Boeing Starliner capsule last June. But it developed mechanical problems and was brought home without them.
Early this morning, they boarded a SpaceX capsule along with astronaut Nick Hague and Russian cosmonaut Alexander Gorbanov for the trip back to Earth. And Mark Strassman reports they arrived home safely.
Homecomings happen differently for astronauts.
We have visual on 4 healthy mains.
You're watching the SpaceX Crew Dragon's main parachutes open 6,500 feet above Earth. Heat shield first, its descent slowed to 15 miles an hour. The capsule with its crew of 4 inside splashed gently into the Gulf. SpaceX's message?
On behalf of SpaceX, welcome home.
A welcome back, finally, to Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams.
Ignition.
Wilmore and Williams blasted off back in June. Their space taxi to the ISS, a Boeing Starliner, developed propulsion problems on its first human flight. Their scheduled 8-day mission became a 9-month saga.
So I'm going to lead you down through the PMA.
That protracted stay, orbiting 260 miles above the rest of us, turned political. President Trump claimed they had been virtually abandoned in space by the Biden administration, a claim Williams denied to John Dickerson last month.
You know, I don't think I'm abandoned. I don't think we're stuck up here. We've got food, we've got clothes. We have a ride home in case anything really bad does happen to the International Space Station.
Dragon Freedom being lifted out of the water. And
back in the Gulf, it's one more step toward a Houston homecoming, at last.
And Mark Strassman joins us in Houston at the Johnson Space Center. Mark, so what's next?
John, a NASA jet is going to bring them here to Houston. They'll land at Ellington Field, which is about 10 miles from where I'm standing. And waiting for them for the last 9 months will be their families.
Mark, what about the physical recovery? What is that going to look like?
It varies, John. Making that adjustment from months of microgravity to the pull of gravity, that it varies person to person. I talked to one astronaut today. He said that it took him a week to feel 80% and 6 weeks to feel 100%, and he only spent 6 months in space, not 9 months, like Wilmore and Williams.